Okay, so today I am reviewing the Audi e-Tron GT, which, as we all know, is, well, a sister car of the Porsche Taycan, but with an Audi badge and a much more palatable price tag that starts from 500 close to 600,000 ringgit for the GT model that I'm driving here. You also have the Audi RS e-Tron GT that goes for, well, above 700,000 ringgit and gives you a lot more performance. So to date, as I record this on a Monday morning, now thus far this car, well, it came to the Horizon team last weekend. Tana had a go at this, Bobby had a go at this. Chiang drove this car out for a photo shoot. So the car has a rated cruising range on the WLTP cycle that is stated at 400 over kilometers. But according to Tana, when he passed the car to me, he said that he saw the car arriving with about 300 kilometers of projected range. And when I got the car from Chiang, it was just under 200. I took it out for a quick spin around LDP yesterday. Now I'm taking this car to work and I have 180 kilometers of range left. I have not charged this car yet, for the record. Now, Tana's observation when he handed the car to me was that the range projection is very realistic, meaning that what you see in what the trip computer projects, all right, you don't see like, okay, right now let's say you're driving at 250 kilometers projection range. You look up, suddenly you look down, it becomes 220 or it becomes 200. No, the reduction in available range is gradual and it is linear. So this is especially important in the context of driving an EV. You need to have accurate projection of available range in order to properly plan your commute. Now, the other thing is that if you remember my tirade-laden
What the fuck?
standing start acceleration test with the Taycan, well, that car was insane. And make no mistake, the e-Tron has pretty much the same kind of explosive performance at its disposal. But the good thing is that as I drive this around in right now urban traffic, the way the throttle is calibrated to respond to my inputs, it feels sensible. This feels like a car that pretty much like the iX3 that I reviewed earlier, much the same, and it shows that car makers have gotten more and more matured in the way they tune their EVs. There's more finesse in the way the EVs respond to our inputs, and that can only be a good thing. Because you see, the thing is this, all these explosive, drop of the hammer kind of acceleration, it's fun, it's thrilling when it is a novelty. But when you live with on a day-to-day basis, you want something that is manageable, you want something that is predictable, you want something that gives you exactly as much as you give in. So here with the e-Tron GT, what I am feeling here is that yes, I am under no illusions that this is a properly powerful car, but it is power that I can manage without stress, without feeling tiresome. It's not like every time when I step on the accelerator, the car just wants to lurch forward. None of that at all. And to build back on the point that I made in my iX3 video, this is once again what I would say. It feels like just a fantastic day-to-day driver, right? It makes cutting through all this traffic just so much more pleasing, so much more effortless, so much more stress-free. It's like you don't have to step on the throttle as hard, and you don't even have that much noise to deal with. So when you are traveling for the context of work, for the context of your day-to-day commutes, your school runs, and your chores and whatnot, EVs are great. I've said this for a long time, that when I eventually make the jump to an EV, and I think it is only a matter of time, the EV that I want has always been the Porsche Taycan. But here, the e-Tron is I would say, is making me reconsider that disposition, because you see, yes, the Taycan, at the end of the day, it's a Porsche, all right, and it is brilliant. It is a lovely car to drive, and I like the fact that the Taycan has the option of a rear-view drive base model that you don't have with the Audi here. But there's something about the e-Tron, the way it is styled, that it has that very powerful masculine presence about its appearance, right? It's just as nice to drive as the Taycan. Overall, feels like a very polished, very accomplished car. And the thing is, because I've just drove the iX3 not long ago, one of my observations on the iX3 was that as I took bends, right, at a fast pace, I feel there is that bottom heaviness of that car. Now that makes the car exceptionally stable, but at the same time, you can feel the mass of that car as you throw it around the bends, that there's something below pulling you down. But no, here the e-Tron, it feels exceptionally fleet-footed. So as I mentioned in my iX3 review, well, EVs are still not suitable for long distance outstation driving. But if you are the kind of traveling commute that now, with about easily 200 to 300 kilometers of realistic range available, and because of the sheer effortlessness which this car moves about, the way this car covers the miles, what you have here is that if your travel patterns, your daily travel patterns, involves a lot of point-to-point driving, where your cumulative daily mileage is in the region of 50 to 100 kilometers, and you maybe have to make 2 or 3 stops a day, EVs like the e-Tron here and the iX3 I tested in my previous video, these are fantastic workhorses. And as much as I still prefer the driving experience of internal combustion engines in the context of spirited driving, EVs are offered just so much in easing your day-to-day commute that our transition to cars like these are just inevitable. And it is great that now the market has opened up, whereby there are so many great options of electric vehicles out there for us to choose from. So the thing is this, as of now, I still don't fully buy into some of the touted benefits of electric vehicles. But make no mistake, EVs are here to stay. EVs are here to dominate our future. And the good news is that cars like the Audi e-Tron here make that future something worth looking forward to. This is overall, regardless whether this is an electric car or whether it's an internal combustion engine car, you look at it as just a car. It is just an incredibly polished product that is, well, at once also, the fact that it's good looking doesn't harm its case at all, but it's just such an effective car for me to cover the grounds for day-to-day use. So it's 6 p.m. on Old Klang Road, and I am using this opportunity to test out the e-Tron's adaptive cruise control system. I've set the system to, well, basically hold speed at 120 kilometers per hour, which I know is too fast for the road ahead, but because it's an adaptive cruise control system, it reads the speed of cars in front and adjusts our speed accordingly. So as the traffic in front clears, of course the car picks up a bit of speed. You see there's still a big, I think, 3-car gap in front, but we're just maintaining at 30-40 kilometers per hour. Now the cars in front come to a stop, and here in the e-Tron I am coming to a gentle stop as well. No fuss. What I like about the experience, of course, is how seamless it all felt. So now I'm waiting for the light in front to turn green. It just did, and wow, okay, so the Axia in front inched forward and our car followed suit. So the response actually is pretty quick. Now I can see that bus in front moving forward. Wow, almost instantaneously. Normally when I experience this kind of adaptive cruise control system, the car takes at least a couple of seconds before it moves out. This one, the Audi system here, almost matches the car in front with the immediacy of a human driver. And right now it's holding a very sensible distance, and in front the traffic is bunching up again, but it's still moving. And I can see the speed dropping. I can see the speed dropping, of course, through the heads-up display in front as well. I can see the speed dropping, and the thing is, at no point in time do I ever feel like I need this to step in. I don't. The control is very natural, and ooh, okay, that was a close one. The Myri in front didn't want to let me pass. All right, so I'm attempting a lane change, signaling a lane change. So the graphics here are not quite as fancy as the BMW's iX3 system, where it actually shows you all the cars around it. There's no such display here in the Audi. Now I'm going to attempt another lane change. So there's still plenty of heavy traffic, and yeah, the car is just maintaining a very sensible speed. It's as if the car is taking into account not only the speed of the car directly in front, but also of surrounding cars. So right now, where I've moved from one lane to another, following another car that's much further in front, the car is not accelerating suddenly. You see, like right now as the road in front clears, the car is very, very gently, very, very gradually picking up speed. Remember, I said to 120 kilometers per hour, and even with a clear stretch of road ahead, it was only showing me 85. Now that Beza cut in front, it brought the speed down to 77, maintaining a very healthy distance with the car in front. So I would say it's a very intelligent setup, and the way the car moves, there is no abruptness in its motion. There's no indecisiveness in its motion. It's really as if a human is controlling the car. So I see clear road, moving aside, and I'm gunning for it. Well, not gunning for it, I'm letting the car decide whether to gun for it or not. And you see, even with a clear stretch of road, now that Porsche just decided to cut in, but you see the way the car moves, there's plenty of space to allow for that Cayenne to come into my lane. Okay, so the car obviously is not reading this Alza's intention. Oh wow, suddenly at the toll gate this fella wants to pick up speed. Okay, time to step in. Okay, and how do I resume? So I resume. Okay. So I'm going to signal right to indicate to the car I'm moving to this lane. Okay, now the car is accelerating a bit more exuberantly. Now there's a BRV to my right at the back. Now I'm coming into this lane, coming behind the Polo, and the car immediately reduced speed. Now this was a bit more abrupt. Okay, And now that I'm seeing clearer ahead, and overall the handling is also pretty assuring that, you know, at no point in time do I feel the need to direct the car's brakes or throttle inputs, because I mean, I've experienced before with many cars equipped with cruise control, even the well set up cruise control, the moment when there is a bend, somehow it needs human intervention to judge, all right, to accurately set a proper engine and brake and throttle input. But with this car, there's no such necessary. So I can also see that there is a bit of a blind spot of the system, like right here at the front of the front quarter, right? But here's the lesson: no system is perfect, right? Every system has its blind spots. And the thing is, the important lesson to learn is, in the context of day-to-day driving, we, the driver, must always maintain our control of the car, right? We cannot fully surrender to the system, but it's good to know the system is ready to step in. Oh, okay, all right. Oh, right. Okay, I wanted to see if the car would let that van go, but it didn't. So yeah, the Audi system, you do have to watch out for people cutting the queue from very acute angles. From what I experienced, BMW system is more adept at recognizing people coming in from these side angles. So for those of you, if you are in the habit of cutting queues, please be careful when you cut an Audi, because if the driver surrenders control of his car to the ACC, okay, well, I'm pretty sure this is a bend sharp enough that I have to step in and control the car manually. And now I shall bring the adaptive cruise control back. So overall, despite a few small missteps, I would say I am pretty impressed with the e-Tron's adaptive cruise control system. Now, one look at the silhouette, it is of course obvious that the e-Tron is a relative of the Porsche Taycan. But looking at the styling details, we can also see that Audi has put in a great deal of effort to give the e-Tron good enough differentiation from the Taycan to make it look and feel like a properly fresh product. And it really creates the debate, the discussion. When choosing between the e-Tron on the Taycan, there really is a question of which do you prefer? Which one do you like more? Which styling do you like more? Now, I've said before that if I were to go for an EV, the Taycan would really be the first choice that I look at, but the e-Tron here has made me reconsider that disposition. You see, the e-Tron, in comparison with the Taycan, the e-Tron has a more expressive frontal styling. There's just that more masculine presence about its appearance that the Taycan does not have. Now, it's not often we say that it is an Audi that has the bolder styling in compared to a Porsche, but that to me is really the case when you look at the e-Tron and the Taycan side by side. There's just more boldness in the e-Tron's appearance. Now, normally this kind of design, you may think it's a bit fussy, but Audi got the balance just right. And if I may say, from the look of it, there is a hint of Audi R8-ness about it. It's as if as Audi sort of like looked at the e-Tron and said, you know, this is the future of our performance. This steps in where the R8 left off. And there are quite a bit of nifty details here for us to admire. The headlights here, for example, has a very intricate lighting signature with many elements, almost sci-fi like in its looks. And this painted part of the grille, right, this modern EV reinterpretation of Audi's hexagonal grille design, this part is painted, but when you look closely, there is texture to it. There is that it's almost as if there's a grille hidden behind, and they put a piece of cloth to drape over it, thereby showing this patterns here. Very, very intricate and neat. Now here, the wheels, these are 20-inch alloy wheels, and well, typical of EVs, there are some covered parts here for the benefit of airflow, but they've still left quite a bit here exposed to show off the red painted brake calipers underneath. Now we are on the right side of the car. Let me open this. Here is one charging port, and we hop over to this side. Here's another charging port here, but this one takes DC charging. So what this means is that, well, you have DC charging here, and when you need to charge your car, you basically don't have to worry about whether you want to park forward, park reverse, park left, park right, because you have charging ports on both sides of the car. So another neat little detail here by the side is that the way this panel bulges out to let this vent out here, and Audi didn't even bother to make this panel neat. It's like they deliberately left this bulging out to leave the hole here. This seems like a deliberate incongruence that sort of attracts our eyes, and there's much more styling going on here. If you move to the back, the rear styling is not entirely to my taste, but I have to say I like the way this rear part here bulges out to give you that muscular stance of the car. The tail lights is a bit fussy to my liking. This is where I mildly prefer the Taycan's simpler rear end look a bit more, but overall it is still a well executed design. At the back, it feels a bit like an Audi A7-ish kind of aura, and there is quite a bit of effort that they put in here. There's a lot of three-dimensional elements here on the taillights, the way this part sinks in, and there's this piano black highlight here. Now this particular example, they have darkened the e-Tron GT badging. The rear diffuser elements here are also pretty aggressive, but as you would see, as being an EV, there are no tailpipes. Now if I may take you on a higher vantage point, so firstly, the roof up here is carbon fiber. Now the rear windscreen is actually pretty narrow, and as I tried to reverse this car earlier, the rear parcel shelf is actually rather high up, but Audi has added this extra black layer of glass to visually sort of like increase the height of the windscreen, because if this were to be painted metal, what it would mean is that it would make the e-Tron's tail look, well, unnaturally tall. And the boot of the e-Tron is actually a pretty conventional sedan type tailgate. You see, it's just a simple boot like what you would find in an A4 or an A6. But boot space overall is pretty good. So there's a hidden compartment under here. All right, the seats have 40-20 split folding. There are extra compartments at the side, and also a 12-volt socket plus another netted pocket here. And you've got the convenience of powered closing. Okay, so as you can see, so with seats down, what we have here is a relatively long, there's a sizable gap here, but the floor does flow seamlessly, which means that you can load a big object here. It doesn't rock about. 40-20 split folding seats. And let me just get inside. So I'm 170 centimeters tall, got about 3 fingers of headroom above me. The lean angle of the seat here is good, and you can see from the side bolsters here, the thighs are well supported, whether it's from below or from the side. Of course, from the way this seat is shaped, it's best used as a 4-seater, but you do have the additional seat belt to use it as a 5-seater if you so prefer. And there are 5 individually adjustable headrests. So here, the armrests, wow, quite small armrests, but functional, of the right height too. You got 2 molded cup holders here. Now, the door card in this example is, well, grey from top to bottom. There's the contrast Alcantara material here, leather at the top, and armrest here. Well, this is one part smooth plastic. You got a Bang & Olufsen audio. And here, well, this is a surprisingly hard grain of plastic here at the side. Now, I like this part here where they sort of like cut this plastic out. Why? Because what this means is that, especially for people with big shoes, you can get in and out of the car without scuffing the plastic. The rear aircon vent with rear zone fan speed control, well, unfancy, but feels solid enough. And overall, I would say the space here, legroom is good as well, no complaints. Solid back here at the seat. Right, let's head to the front. Okay, now we come to the driver's seat. Well, once again, it's an all black from top to bottom, all grey. But look at this, well, trapezoidal elements here. Does give the design a bit of an edge to it. Let's get inside. And look at this. Look at how this edges out. And it flows into the contour of the door. Now, start stop button is here. And this being an EV, well, there's no engine startup noise. All right, you see it displays ready, it means the engine is started. Make this Audi your own. I would sure love to do that. And so this is the Audi MMI. What I was really surprised to discover earlier today when driving was that this MMI, I cannot adjust aircon temperature. I cannot lower the car's window. Maybe I'm a bit spoiled by all these systems really, but the graphics are good. Graphics are good. Yes, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and I do appreciate the old school buttons here for the climate control system they need, because Audi decided not to have voice command for the climate control, so you must have buttons. You see, the thing with a lot of users that complain about the climate control system being controlled from the screen, okay, that control is somewhat alleviated if you can use the voice command to tell the car to raise or lower the temperature. But by preserving the buttons here, well, there's no need for that function. And the aircon vent is interestingly placed quite low here. Here we have the Audi Drive Select button, park control, and you have this button here to switch the screen on or off, which I don't see why you would want to do that. Here's the audio control here, and this is overall here, this is storage space actually is quite nicely partitioned. This slot here, you can drop your smart tag, you can drop your phone. You've got 2 molded cup holders here, and you've got another lid here. Now here is this is where this is a wireless phone charger, and inside here are extra charging ports, USB-C charging ports. Yeah, check it out, the e-Tron word lights up. So the interior, well, in a way this feels entirely in theme with the current generation Audis, the A4, the A6, but a bit more edginess to the design. But the controls are very familiar. The MMI system, for example, this is straight off. Well, I remember experiencing this in the last Audi that I reviewed. This is the gear selector. So, well, it's the electronic shifter, drive, neutral, reverse, and you've checked out this the 360-degree camera. The stitching overall is good. Sorry, the passenger door is open for my camera there, right? But the stitching of the remaining 3 cameras, can see, looks good, looks seamless. Resolution isn't as good as what I've seen with Mercedes and BMW camera systems, if I'm to be honest. We have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and here at the side, these are the headlight controls. It's all touch operated. So there is this metal strip here that's basically there for you to reach and feel, right? So that you know that when you move to the side, you're either switching the auto lights on or off, or here to activate the rear fogs or the front fog lamps, right? And here's an interesting pop quiz that took us a while to figure out. How do you open the bonnet? Okay, so earlier today, the EvoClub Car Wash team and we were trying to figure out how to open the bonnet in front, or rather the frunk. We were looking all over here on the passenger side. We couldn't find the bonnet release latch. Then, well, I went to YouTube and I learned that you press this to release the frunk in front. So you open this like a traditional bonnet, and what you have here is this little storage area that's good enough for, well, could be your groceries, could be your carry-on suitcase to get into the plane, but the rest of this here is covered. Of course, this is for the braking mechanism and for the steering mechanism underneath here. So here you have it. This is the Audi e-Tron GT. So as I reach the end of this review, at least there's one thing I know for sure. I have an alternative to the Porsche Taycan as my first EV. So if you enjoyed today's video, well, share with me your thoughts in the comment section. Give it a like, subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. Do check out also the channels of all my other Horizon team members as well. And every Monday night, Bobby, Tana, Thomas and myself are live on Facebook and on YouTube to take all your car buying questions. And of course, if you have any car detailing, car care needs, you can always reach out to the EvoClub Car Wash team to find out what are our latest offers and promos for your car. And I'll see you in the next video.